which Ruiz won by a 7th round stoppage. This guy sucks at writing. Yo, CBS, or who is this, Boxing Junkie? Fire this guy. Mike Rosenthal? Bro, you write terribly. Jesus. What's up, guys? Welcome to 80/20 Sports. I am your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 80/20 in these YouTube streets. Today we're going to talk about a little boxing. We're going to look at an article from Boxing Junkie, and it is an opinion piece. I'm not a huge fan of opinion pieces, because they are just that, opinions. And I did breeze through this article a few times already, and there's some things that stick out to me that seem to be a little like, but you know, it's a big fight coming up, and we should at least chat about it. So, opinion: why Alexander Usyk will defeat Anthony Joshua a second time. Let's start with this article. And first of all, this guy Mike Rosenthal. Now, I've seen a few things that Senior Mike Rosenthal has written. Not a huge fan, but to each his own. It says, he starts by saying, I learned a long time ago that talent generally trumps everything else in boxing. Size, strength, experience, all of it. I kind of feel like that's a Captain Obvious kind of statement. And here's what I mean by that. Size, well, guess what? They have weight classes. So even if a guy is a bigger man, outside of obviously the heavyweight division, because there's no limit on the top end, even if a guy is a slightly bigger man, they still have to weigh within the parameters, and they work in hydration clauses into the contract. So there very rarely is a size difference. There's sometimes a height difference, but very rarely a size difference. Strength, obviously you never know which guy is the stronger guy. Experience, okay, here's a question, and this is one for the comments. If you got a young guy that's really, really talented, and you've got an older guy that's crazy experienced, and the younger guy might be a little bit more talented, but the other guy has more experience, and we're talking about like even playing field, like not one guy is way, way, way better than the other. Tell me which one you think is going to come out on top on average, the guy with more experience or the guy with more talent, a younger guy with talent or an older guy with experience. Hit me in the comments. I'm curious. You could debate this a little bit, because I would put timing in there. I just did a video about timing, and honestly, timing beats all of those things, to be honest with you. If you have timing and you know when to punch and you can punch someone in between punches, you'll beat them every time. That's why I believe heavyweight title holder Alexander Usyk will defeat Anthony Joshua a second time on Saturday in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Dazin's got the fight. Usyk is a better boxer. Yes, you can definitely make that argument. He proved that in their first fight last September when he outclassed the then champion to win a clear decision in a 3 of 4 major belts. I scored it 116-112 for Usyk, 8 rounds to 4. I think most observers would agree that Joshua can't outbox Usyk. If Joshua does what he's always done, which is what I think he will most likely do, this gentleman is right. Usyk, what people don't really talk about Alexander Usyk is that he's obviously been boxing for a long time, but he's always been an undersized boxer. He's got a very bouncy in and out style. What does that mean? That means that, you know, he's had a pretty serious amateur career before his professional career. So the way they score amateurs is different. And so he's always very good at outpointing people, meaning touching you more than him. He has little to no power. I would love for someone to send me the clip where Alexander Usyk flat out knocks somebody out. He doesn't have that kind of power. In fact, he often punches off balance with his feet off the ground in weird ways. But what he does do is he outpoints. I think he's deceptively fast. I think he's deceptively defensively responsible. And I think by the time a lot of people realize what has happened, he has run away with the points in any given fight. I think Anthony Joshua was a little bit, first fight was, I don't think his heart was in it, to be honest with you, but he got out athletic. Anthony Joshua fought the first fight like his feet were in concrete, didn't move very often, and didn't have a lot of aggressive energy either. So that could have come from one of two different things. That being Usyk disrupted his timing and his flow so badly that he just kind of froze in his place, which happens. Or Anthony Joshua, for whatever reason, went in kind of lax and lazy and just didn't put his foot on the gas pedal and just kind of coasted until he realized that he was about to lose the fight. Anyways, let's just jump back into this article. Thus, Joshua is expected to make an obvious adjustment under new trainer Robert Garcia, use his size, strength, and punching power advantages against a naturally smaller man more than he did in the first fight. Like I said, he stood in concrete. He wasn't aggressive with his punches. He wasn't really trying to walk Usyk down. Usyk just kind of ran him all over the place. And Usyk is just really good at touching and poking in between punches and being a little bit, he's crafty. And to be real, it doesn't look like he's moving that fast. It doesn't look like he's punching that hard. He doesn't punch hard, but it doesn't look like he's moving that fast. And I think he's got, like I said, he's defensively, I think he's defensively responsible, and I think it's kind of sneaky how he does it. But as far as offense, stays on his toes, bounces in, out, changes directions. He's very good for that. And I believe that is obviously his boxing pedigree, but I think his roots or his beginning in the amateurs is what has shaped his style now, if I had to guess. Now this is what I don't like. We can't dismiss Joshua's ability to hurt an opponent. He can knock out anybody with the right punch, including Usyk. That is true. I mean, you're in there fighting anybody. Anybody can knock anybody out. I mean, if you have gloves on and you're in the ring, the reality is that anyone can knock the other person out. If they can, there is a such thing as a lucky punch. It happens all of the time. So not to say that's not likely to happen, just it isn't likely to happen, but it could. The aggressive Joshua could run into another problem. Literally, the more assertive he is, the more he opens himself up into taking a big shot himself. Usyk, a former cruiserweight champion, doesn't have the elite power, but he can hurt Joshua if he walks into a big shot. I don't believe Usyk will knock out Joshua, but it's a possibility if Joshua takes risks. Finally, I'm among those who have questioned Joshua's fighting spirit, his commitment to the sport. Since the moment Andy Ruiz Jr. first hurt him in the third round of their first fight, which Ruiz won in a 7th round stoppage. Man, this guy sucks at writing. He's just a terrible writer. Bro, you're a shitty writer. I'm sorry. Listen to this. Finally, I'm among those who have questioned Joshua's fighting spirit, his commitment to the sport. Since the moment Andy Ruiz Jr. first hurt him in the third round of their first fight, which Ruiz won by a 7th round stoppage. This guy sucks at writing. Yo, CBS or who is this, Boxing Junkie? Fire this guy. Mike Rosenthal, bro, you write terribly. Jesus. Joshua won the rematch with grossly overweight Ruiz by unanimous decision, but fought tentatively. Of course, he deserves credit because the objective is to win. However, his tactics reinforced the perception that he is skittish. Can't argue with that. I still wonder what would happen if he finds himself in trouble as he did in the first fight with Ruiz. In that case, he continued to fight for several rounds, but evidently convinced he wouldn't win, he ultimately quit. That is what happened. That was the worst moment of his career. That was the worst moment of his career, one that fans won't forget. And to me, Joshua's performance against Usyk in the first fight did nothing to alleviate the doubts about the former champion. He and Usyk were even on the scorecards through 8 rounds, but the latter won in the final 4 rounds to win going away. The indication that Usyk was more determined than Joshua. As a knowledgeable observer put it to me, it just looked like Usyk had more dog in him down the stretch. And like I said, he was more active. He touched Joshua more often. He was confusing. He didn't get hit very often. He could do what he seemed like he was doing whatever he wanted to. I mean, I'm gonna go back and rewatch the fight, even though it was really hard to watch. I won't believe in Joshua again until I see him become a dog. Some people just shouldn't speak or write. I want to see him say with his actions in the ring, "Damn it, I'm the rightful heavyweight champion and I'm going to take what's mine." I don't disagree with that. If Joshua fights with the type of attitude that he uses his advantages in a clever manner, I give him a chance to beat Usyk on Saturday and set up a monster showdown with Fury. If he doesn't, he'll probably suffer the same as the first fight. I believe Usyk will have his hand raised again. I believe so also. Like I said, Joshua went and got himself a new coach. So in that respect, who knows? Because obviously he's physically capable. But when he's in that firefight, what do you do? Do you learn the thing that's new, or do you revert back to the thing that you've always been doing the entire time? And unfortunately, the knock might be that he ends up just doing what he's always done, which is kind of shell up. He doesn't take shots. He gets a little flustered when he takes shots, or he's trying to weather a storm, meaning when there's an aggressive fighter, Joshua has a hard time sitting in the pocket, dealing with the pressure, and then responding. He kind of gets his hands up and he flails a little bit, and he's not very good at dealing with pressure. And if you watch some of the fights, especially with Andy Ruiz, Andy Ruiz would get off some of these combinations, and Joshua would, even if you wanted to get back into a fight where he won the Dillian White fights, if you go back to the Dillian White fights, same kind of thing. When Dillian White pressed him, he had a hard time getting out of the way of some of those punches. He ate a few he shouldn't have, and it took him out of the position to counter also. So he's not the best counter puncher either. But, maybe I'll just break down Joshua individually. I just wanted to, the fight's about to come out. There's this piece that popped up and I thought maybe I would speak on it. So anyways, do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen. I'm changing the format of this. I'm kind of moving things around and kind of getting my feet wet and trying to find my groove here. So things are going to change. Things are going to get better. The sound in the video and quality and stuff's always going to get a little bit better. But in the meantime, like, share, subscribe. Do me a huge favor. If there's something that you liked, something that you hated, hit me in the comments. Let me know. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it, but I'm definitely going to look and take it into consideration. Guess what? Erykah Badu said it best. I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.